First, let's talk about nail clippers. There are a few variations, so we're going to go through them all. One variation is the plier style nail clipper. The other one is the scissor type nail clipper. And there's also a guillotine type. You can sit closer. This is how it works. And from the guillotine type, there is also a quick finder variation where it's supposed to tell you where to stop. It's not working. Anyways, I just wanted you to know that there is this type as well, and we're going to talk about the pros and cons of all of that. Plus, we're going to discuss how to use human nail clippers in specific situations and cases. As you can see, these are extremely sharp. Those are way safer to use. You really have a super chill or super restrained doggy to use these, because anything here, and this pokes big time, will cut in the skin, not only the nail but also in the skin. So we really have to make sure there is no area around the face which we do not want to cut into. These are my special reserved tools for really tricky cases when there is a teeny tiny room where I can work only, and none of the other types of the nail clippers will go and get to the nail area. This one is for teeny tiny doggies or puppies, and this one can work on larger doggies because it can get a bigger and thicker nail too. You can see the difference, but I'm not gonna talk anymore about these. They're gonna have their own space. So first, let's talk about my favorite, and I think these are the most effective ones, the plier style. Now there are two sizes which I came across, and this is from Safari brand, and this is a small medium one, this is a medium large one. Now keep in mind that I used the big one about 5 times max in my career. So this is kind of for dinosaurs. You really have to have a ginormous dog with really super thick nail. But for those, this will do magic. These guys will work on smaller, medium, and even on large doggies. They are very sharp. They last forever pretty much until you take a good care of them. And they were just fascinating. The thing I really like in them, let's just show it on the big one for you, is it has 2 sharp edges. Both these curves cut. So that plays a huge role in keeping the doggy comfortable, because regardless of what their past experience was, but especially when they had an experience when they had a painful or traumatic nail trim session, they will react to the teeniest pressure or sensation, a pressure-like sensation around the nails. In case you are using this guy, which I really do not like, if you take a look, the top, the black part, does not cut. The only thing which is sharp is the lower curve. So there's only one position that you can use it in a way that it's gonna give you a little less pressure on the doggy's nails than this guy. So in case you want a still dog and a comfy one, ditch this type, because it's not gonna work for you, and we're gonna talk about why. But first, let's finish this one. I just wanted you to see the differences. So you really want something with 2 edges that are sharpened, and they will cut in the nail, so it's gonna be the least pressure around. You know the sensation when someone is pinching your finger in something, like you close the door too tight on it or something? It's very similar for the doggy. So the least amount of pressure there is, the more calm your dog is going to be. Now the positioning is also different, so we're going to talk about that too, but from tool perspective, you really want something with 2 edges. Now the other thing, which I don't really like, but I will talk about how you can work around it, is this little tongue. Many people think that they can protect their doggy's nails from bleeding in case they put this little tongue in there, and whenever they are cutting, they're not gonna trim too much off. The thing is, if we go a little closer, you see that there is this amount of this difference between the nail and the tongue. It's about 3 millimeters, that much. The thing is, most of the doggies do not need that much trimmed off. So the only thing what this, actually the two things which this does is, one is blocking your vision from exactly seeing what you're doing in there. Because if you take a look, this way you can see what you're doing. In case we have the little tongue on for safety, sort of saying safety, you can't see what you're doing. You can't even see whether I opened it up or not, or barely, and whether how much nail fit through that hole, which is a huge safety situation. So you really want this little tongue away and use your finger to cover the, let's say this is a doggy's nails. You use your finger on the top of the nail whenever you are cutting, so you're not gonna cut so much off of the doggy's nails, like whatever can fit through here. So you are using your own finger to stay safe and prevent the whole toenail being cut off. I heard horror stories from professionals and from parents as well. This little thing will not keep you safe from bleeding and from pain or cutting the whole toenail or dewclaw off. So you really want to make sure that you're holding the paw in a way that you prevent slipping, and you're using the equipment in a way that you're not opening up it wide like this, but the teeniest, tiniest amount you need to work on, and that's it. Now, the other reason I really, really like these is because they come in two sides. And with these guys, they are usually the same size, and it's just not comfortable for the doggies. There is way too much pressure on the doggies' nails. You can see there's a lot of doggy hair around because I'm not using these. These are just kind of displays which way not to go. So using these will give you such an advantage of keeping your doggy still and safe and yourself sweat-free or bite-free, that I just vote for these two. Most of the time I use this guy.